Hello everybody and welcome back to Dark Souls. As you can see, I'm being summoned again. So I figure I'm going to try to do a little bit more of the jolly cooperation here. It's a pretty fantastic way to get experience. Well, souls. Generally it's a lot of fun as well. So, you know, what the heck. We'll do maybe one or two more. I don't really want to hold up here and just do this forever. But, you know, no harm in doing it a little bit more. Alright, we're probably going to end up going back over to get Maneater Mildred to join us for the boss fight again. Which is okay. Maneater Mildred is, as I pointed out last time, very, very good to bring along to this boss fight that we're about to enter. Alright, and by now most of you should know the drill. Hopefully we can continue avoiding those giants over there, the boulder throwers. Those guys are really not fun to fight, especially... there's a few different areas where they spawn, but those ones right here, immediately in front of the boss cave area, in front of Quelaag's domain, I should say. Those guys are especially tricky to fight because you end up fighting like 3 or 4 of them at once. I think 3. And one of them is fairly tough. They have a lot of health. Their attacks hurt a lot. They can throw boulders, which are pretty tough to dodge. Generally, you know, fighting 1 at a time is recommended if you have to fight them at all. Fighting 3 at a time? Oof. Very, very difficult. Alright, that... Here we go again. And yes, we are going to have to watch this cutscene every time. At least until the host decides to skip it, if the host decides to skip it. Awesome. We might be getting a better look at this boss, which for some reason a lot of people like to watch this cutscene. I don't really know why. Yeah. No, all sarcasm aside, I really like this boss fight. It's a pretty easy one to be summoned into. It's a pretty easy boss. Oh man, she apparently does not take a lot of damage from holy blunt maces. Generally the boss fight's not too terribly hard if you summon help. But for some reason a lot of people have trouble, and a lot of people do like to summon help and you know, have phantoms join them for this boss fight in particular. Alright, time to bring out the old god of lightning, the Zeus Thunder Spear, if you will. I really like the lightning sphere. I absolutely cannot overstate how much I enjoy this spell. Alright, and again, just like last time, this boss is going down pretty quickly. Thanks to good old lightning spear here. Awesome, look at that. We defeated Quelaag and get another sunlight medal. I'd like to get 10 sunlight medals. I might do some of these jolly cooperation boss fights off-screen just to get the 10 sunlight medals. I really want 10. That'll let me level up in the Covenant and get, I believe, a second sunlight spear spell. I believe it'll let me get a stronger version of the spell, which would be awesome. I can't even imagine having a second lightning sphere that I can throw. Oh, man. And so there's actually nothing stopping us from fighting the boss on our own and then coming back and doing more Jolly Cooperation later. As I mentioned earlier, the only thing that really stops you is your soul level, you know, which level you are. So you got to be within range. Other than that, there's no real limits to joining people and helping with boss fights. So I'm going to go ahead and fight the boss now. With a little bit of help, of course. Might as well make use of the people that want to be summoned here, if I can. I'm going to go ahead and fight the boss now for me, while I'm the host, and then we can kind of progress on, and, you know, maybe I'll come back and do some more Jolly Cooperation in later videos. Looks like I didn't want to summon that guy. Yeah, we're just going to see how things roll. So, if I can't get a person to join me here, then we'll just go take on that boss with Man-Eater Mildred and ourselves. Generally, you know, you want to summon people if they're available. Kind of a nice thing to do. We'll summon this guy. Yeah, so the summoning failed for the last guy for whatever reason. Could be bad connection. You know, maybe he dropped offline. Maybe he canceled it. Who knows? Actually, if we could get 2 people. So you can only try to summon one at a time. Oh, awesome. He has the Knight Solaire's helmet, at least. That's kind of cool. So it'll only let you try to summon one phantom at a time, and you can't summon anybody else until, you know, that person either makes a connection or not. Right. In the meantime, there's plenty of mosquitoes for me to be hunting. Yeah, so it looks like it's just not going to let me summon these. Oh! Speak of the devil. Yeah, I don't believe I'm going to get that other person who kept showing up there and fading out, so we'll go summon Man-Eater Mildred. This person probably needs to be healed, so we will, as I mentioned earlier, use an Estus Flask. When we use it, it will heal our phantom friends here, so, you know, gotta look out for the people that you're summoning to help you. And again, I have the Rusted Iron Rings, so I can run through the swamp here really quickly. Much quicker than most people. Although he's not moving too slow either. He probably has the ring equipped, but it looks like he's got some pretty beefy armor, so that's probably why he's traveling a little slow. Alright. Yeah, sorry for the repetition. This is definitely going to be the last time I fight this boss on camera. I may do some on-camera cooperation with some of the other bosses later. I haven't really decided. Mostly, I want to get the... I want to get a good set of armor. We got a whole bunch of souls there, kind of burning a hole in my pocket. I would love to upgrade some armor. Maybe upgrade our mace some more, although we can't really do that at the moment. And I really, really, really want to get a better version of the lightning spell. Because, oh man, that would be fantastic. Alright. We have seen this cutscene enough. Oh, you know what? It might not let me skip it. I think when you're doing Jolly Cooperation, yeah, you can't skip the cutscene unless everybody involved skips it. I could just be making that up, though. Ooh, awesome. This guy that we've got here is using some sorceries. He's got some mage powers. That should be a pretty good help. Alright, you know what? Let's do a little of our good old-fashioned lightning spear. Hasn't let us down in here yet. Oh boy, get away from that explosion. Yeah, the frame rate's chugging a little bit. It's kind of hard to figure out what's going on and kind of hard to maneuver around here. I'm surprised I didn't get hit. It looked like she did her explosion attack from before. Alright, and with that, Quelaag goes down, and we get a Soul of Quelaag this time. We have not actually gotten one of those before. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, I haven't really talked about the boss souls. We got a soul for defeating the Moonlight Butterfly, and just now we got the Soul of Quelaag. The boss souls can be used to uniquely forge your weapons. So, Soul of Quelaag you can use on a short sword, or like a curved sword, like a katana or something, and you can, if you upgrade the sword, I think you have to take it to +10. Later in the game, there's a special blacksmith who can use the boss's soul and forge a unique boss weapon. So, a curved sword you can turn into Quelaag's Fury Sword, which is a chaos, like a fire-based sword. Very, very powerful. All the boss weapons are pretty fantastic. I'm sure I'm going to upgrade a few weapons just for the sake of showing them off, if nothing else. They all have some, or I believe most of them have some unique properties, things like that. Okay, so here we are. There is a bell. So if you remember, we're looking for the 2 bells of awakening. There's one up in the church. We've been to the church many times. I haven't actually gone to the top of the church to ring the bell. But then we were told by the crestfallen warrior, the guy who's sitting outside the bonfire at Firelink Shrine, he told us there's actually 2 bells. And the second one is down here at the base of Blighttown. So after defeating Quelaag, there's the bell. We can actually pull this lever and ring the Bell of Awakening. Now, usually through the normal flow of the game, this is the second bell that most people ring. For us, it's the first. And as a really nice, fun little co-op effect, you know how sometimes we can see the blue phantoms or we can see the bloodstains for other players? When someone rings one of the Bells of Awakening, any players in the area who are connected to the internet, anybody who's online can hear the bell ring. So it's actually a really neat little effect. We'll probably hear the bell ring when we run through the Undead Parish to get back to the quote-unquote first bell. But, yeah. So I'm going to continue on this way. So on the other side of this, there's a bunch more of the infested spider egg undead guys. I don't really know what they're called. Infested undead spider egg guys. It's a good name. I'm not going to bother resting at this bonfire, even though I just lit it. This way we can still use our homeward spell and return back to Blighttown instead of having to trek all the way that way back on our own. So there's a bunch of these guys. There's a nasty little lava lake down there. And if you notice, there's actually a fog wall over there as well. Now, there's a boss over on the other side of that fog wall. I mostly just came to show this area off. I don't really feel like fighting that boss right now. You know what? We can give it a shot. Let's try it. I changed my mind on the fly right there. Alright. So, nasty, nasty lava lake. We really don't want to go down there. So I gotta be careful not to fall off the edge, which applies, you know, to 90% of the areas that you run through in Dark Souls anyways. Never want to fall off the edge. We are human, although there's not usually much in the way of people hanging out waiting to be summoned for this particular boss. And you'll see why in just a minute. This boss is either very, very difficult to fight, or very, very easy to fight, kind of depending on how you do it. I've never actually successfully beaten this boss the quote-unquote hard way, the real way to fight it, in a straight-up one-on-one fight. And, you know, I thought about it, but just don't think that this playthrough is the one for me where I'm going to do that. So we're going to run this way, kind of explore off here. And that spiky fire tentacle thing, that's the boss. Lucky for us, we can sneak around here. It's not actually going to attack us right away. Jeez, that's an ugly boss. Now, if we run over here to this altar-y looking thing, we can loot this corpse. We get a set of armor, and we awaken the boss. Now, I'm just going to turn around and sprint all the way back to the beginning over by the fog wall. And I am going to not look back, because that thing is terrifying. No, so the trick to this boss is if you run all the way back over here, it's tough to see. I'll show you a little bit when we get back, you know, after we defeat the boss. I'll run over there and show you what I'm talking about. But here, see how the lava here is fairly shallow, and he's actually walking through it? But then over here, there's a bit of a drop-off. Oh boy. Really don't want him to kill me right now. That would be embarrassing. Now, so if we run all the way back over here, just out of his reach, the boss will actually lunge for us here. We'll see it in just a minute. Come on, buddy. Yep. Like that. Now, we can actually beat the crap out of this hand, because he's only hanging on by this one arm. And if we do enough damage to him here, quickly enough, actually, we might not even be restrained by time. Yeah, there we go. Just like that, he loses his grip and falls off into the abyss. So that's the easy way to fight the boss. That's how most people will fight him. Now, it turns out that that boss was actually the source of all the lava here. So, without the bed of chaos, without that boss generating the heat and the lava and the fire, everything cools off. So now we can actually go down there and explore. Although that I am definitely not going to do yet. There's some really nasty creatures here. This is very much an area intended for players who are in the second half of the game. Like, this is a later game area. I'm just showing it off because we can get a decent set of armor. That black gold-hemmed armor is pretty fantastic. It is... oh, excuse me. It is pyromancer armor. So it's worn by, like, the pyromancy witches and the pyromancy students in the lore of this game. But it's unique in that it is very strong. It is very resistant to magic, very resistant to fire and to curse damage and stuff. It's generally pretty fantastic armor, and I just realized I don't need to be running all this way back because I'm going to be using the homeward spell. It's pretty good armor, but the one big drawback to it is that you can't upgrade it. So most, if not all, the other armor sets in the game you can upgrade with Titanite of some form or another. The gold-hemmed armor that we picked up, let me show it off maybe a little bit here. The gold-hemmed armor is pretty light. Yeah, the gold-hemmed gold-hemmed black cloak. Pretty light, pretty fantastic defensive value, very resistant to fire, very resistant to poison, and, you know, decently resistant to bleeding. So generally it's a pretty amazing armor set, except you can't upgrade it. It's a lot of people will, you know, people who are in the lighter classes, people who don't rely so much on armor, they will just use that armor for the entire rest of the game. Most people like to stick with the mask that I have on now that boosts your stamina regeneration, because that is an absolutely fantastic benefit. But yeah, other than that, people really like, myself included, really like the gold-hemmed armor. Now, clearly people who are high in the strength and endurance, people with a lot of health, are going to prefer very heavy armors. And there are some much better heavy armors if you don't mind moving slow and, you know, not really being able to dodge attacks. Alright, let's deal with these mosquitoes here. Now we're gonna go up this way, and I gotta remember there's a dart thrower guy who can poison us right up here, which is the reason that I backed away last time I tried to make this little climb here. So, geez, stupid mosquitoes. Alright. Let's heal up while we can. Kill some more mosquitoes here real quick. Alright, so we've got one more of these crag spiders. Oh, man, that guy hurt. And then I gotta be really careful because of that dart thrower who's hitting me right now. Oh man, and he's way up high there. Oh, and I don't have my spider shield equipped anymore, so this is very bad. Oh, he's not up there anymore. Oh boy, did you make a mistake, buddy. I'm gonna switch back to the spider shield real quick, because there may be more of those dart thrower guys. I'm definitely gonna be fighting more of these mosquitoes, as you can see right now. I would rather not get poisoned or, worse, toxic. Poison's not so bad because we do have some purple moss we can use to remove the poison. Toxic, I don't believe I have any way to cure that right now. And I don't know if we have enough healing spells or enough HP to just kind of wait it out and survive toxic. So I'm going to be pretty cautious working my way up here. These crag spiders aren't too tough now that I've been able to upgrade my weapon. Now, this place is a pretty nasty maze on the way down. You think down is easy, right? You just keep falling down. It's a pretty nasty maze on the way down, and I often will get lost trying to navigate it. I definitely don't know my way coming up here from reverse, so this will be some fun exploration. Fun exploration times for all of us. Let's see. There's going to be some new enemy types that we're going to be seeing here soon as well. I don't know how close or how far those guys are. That looks like poison darts, which is the worst thing ever. There's the dart thrower. He's all the way. Oh, come on, camera. Work with me. Ah, well. It looks like he just walked off the cliff and killed himself. Nothing wrong with that. So here's a fog wall. I'm pretty sure we're traversing through it backwards. Oh, yep, there's the new enemy type that I was talking about. These guys are pretty nasty. Oh, and they take 3 hits for me to bring down. That's unfortunate. Broken sword. Fantastic. Just what I wanted. No, so those guys are a bit of a nuisance. They have another, like, jumping grab attack where they will latch onto you. Oh, hey! I know you. Ooh, glad that he didn't get me with that second swing there. Alright, I had forgotten that there were more ogres. Or at least one more ogre. I don't know how many of these we're gonna run into. Hopefully just the one. They're tough to fight in this narrow little hallway here. Oh, and he didn't even drop a dung pie. That's so disappointing. Yeah, and those creatures, I don't know what they are. Whatever they are, they have a very long range of sight or hearing or whatever it is they use to detect poor, unfortunate wayfarers like myself. And they can, yeah, they come at you in groups typically, and they can very easily overwhelm you. They're also easy to stagger, so that's good. But yeah, generally they're a nuisance to deal with. And then, again, no idea what that thing is. It's kind of a gross-looking enemy. Let's see how he fares against our lightning sphere, though. Ah, well, 2 hits. And 1,000 souls. That really wasn't so bad. And a pyromancy. We're not going to be using pyromancies. I believe I've stated that on a couple of occasions. Alright. Not entirely sure where to go. I am going to hunt around for items a little bit, though. Oh, good grief, I heard... Alright, so there's at least one above us. I don't know if there's anybody below us. Oh, there's that jumping attack I told you about earlier. If you have your shield up and you try to block it, he will just grab onto you, and I don't think it's necessarily an instant kill, but they do a crap ton of damage, and I probably wouldn't be living through it. Alright. Heard another one over here somewhere. Right. Oh, awesome, and more of those little fire-breathing dogs. I believe I pointed some out earlier. I don't think I actually fought them on camera. They're just like the dogs that we fought down in the lower Undead Burg, except they breathe fire, as you saw. They're pretty nasty little creatures. If they catch you off guard, you can be in a lot of trouble. Oh no, another poison dart. Oh, and another jump attack. Block the poison dart. Okay. I have no idea where that dart thrower is. He's up there somewhere. I really want to deal with him. Alright, I'm going to use an Estus Flask. Oh boy. We're going to find him over here. I think I'm blocked from that dart thrower's view from here. I think I had some sort of creepy club thing. Alright, so I'm going to drop down over here and see if there's a ladder over on the other side somewhere that we can climb up. Ladder? Over here somewhere? Now, up, there's an up over there. How do I get over there? That is not where I wanted to be, I think? It's over here. As I said, I do not know this area very well at all. And it's a pretty nasty, confusing maze. There's something. Eagle shield. I believe that's a large, like akin to a great shield. really, really want to take out that stupid little dart thrower guy. Those guys are absolutely the worst. Alright, let's try going back down over here, and then see if there's another place we can go up. Yeah. Alright. Oh, and look, he's right at the top of the ladder. That's convenient. More purple moss clumps. Let's see. I don't see anything interesting up over here. I say, and then immediately I find something interesting. Oh, this looks very dangerous. I don't know where that goes. I mean, down. That's obvious, but I don't know if there's anything worthwhile down there. I'm gonna say no. Down is not the direction I want to be going. I want to be going up. Alright, we took out the dart thrower. Oh, and I almost walked over that hole there. That would have been bad. Let's see. Ladder back up. Alright, so there is a bonfire over here. I was actually right next to it just a moment ago. I am not going to make use of the bonfire. Let's see. Ah. Wait. Up. Is there more? Yeah, there it is. I'm not going to make use of the bonfire. Again, I think I'm going to rely on using... I'm going to hope that I don't die. And then I'm going to rely on using the homeward spell to return back to the drainage area, you know, down at the bottom of Blighttown, so that we can very easily make use of the shortcut and get back to Firelink Shrine. Move on to something that is less Blighttown-y in the near future. Okay. What the hell was that? Alright, well, we seem to be relatively safe here, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.